Hello?
Congratulations on UFC contract. I guess just talk about the emotions. I mean, you've been building here, expecting to see yourself here, but what's it feel like to have it be official?
I mean, it's a dream come true, but I mean, I won't be satisfied until I get that UFC gold.
How long do you think it could take? I mean, in your division, you can make quick runs. I mean, how fast do you see yourself, right? You're still relatively young in your career, right?
Yeah, I see myself getting maybe a title shot within 2 years. There's just, I mean, how many guys are on the roster? There's like 15 heavyweights now, so a few wins put me to the top.
Yeah, no doubt. Talk about your performance tonight. Dominant, as Dana White said. How did you feel about your performance in there this evening?
Yeah, I felt good. He was able to defend some of the wrestling in the beginning, but I just know how I train, and it doesn't matter if you defend 5, 6, 7 shots. I'm going to shoot 100 times. You know, that's the mentality.
I was going to say that opening round, it seemed like you were being kind of patient, right? Like not rushing things because of the defense. Were you frustrated in that situation, or were you fine mentally that it maybe wasn't, getting to the ground right away?
I knew he was eventually gonna break. I was even telling my coaches in between round, after that first round, I knew he couldn't keep up that pace, and you guys saw that first shot in the second round. He just basically broke, gave up.
I kind of thought you were going to have the fight finished when you were in mount. It looked like you were done there, but you actually kind of stepped out of mount, circled around. Like, was that a conscious decision? Did you not feel you had the finish, or did you feel like you wanted style points, or what was going on there?
Yeah, I mean, as a wrestler, I think you like that side, the side control, half guard a little bit more because it feels like a Turk in wrestling. You feel like you got a little bit more control compared to a mount, especially when the guy has a little bit more energy. He could just buck you off, and so I know I could give off good damage, in that half guard. So, I mean, he wasn't going anywhere.
Nice. Obviously, it's up to the UFC, but I mean, if it was up to you, how fast do you make your debut? How fast do you turn this thing around? Is there a date, a location, anything that makes sense to you?
Man, I'm ready to fight next week. I mean, you gave that Russian guy 6 days notice, and is a Russian better than an American? That's how I look at it. So I'm ready to go 5 days notice, so I'm ready to fight next week, and then the week after that, and then the week after that, until I got 52 fights in 1 year. That's one fight a week.
Nice. Last thing for me, for a lot of people, I think tonight was their first exposure to you, the first time they've had a chance to see you, and I think they're probably trying to figure out what to make of your mic work and the Incredible Hulk. So what would you tell people that are tuning in for the first time and saying, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, they want to eat at the table, but they bring nothing to the table, and so I'm here to bring something to the table, and I'm not going to complain of I see all these heavyweights getting cut. I'm sure it's a conscious effort for them. They probably don't get like the numbers that the UFC's throwing at them. But, I mean, they bring nothing to the table. A lot of them are just overweight, fat guys. Their fights are boring, They don't even speak English, I feel like that should be a criteria. You speak English, then you could be in the UFC. That's just how I would run it,
Josh, congratulations. To your left. We spoke after your LFA fight here in Vegas back in March. I asked you about an opponent inside the promotion you'd like to face one day, and you mentioned Jalton Almeida, another athletic heavyweight. Is that still an opponent you have in mind one day down the road?
Yeah, I feel like we'll meet eventually. I mean, my next opponent, I want it to be Alvin Hines. He's been running from me in the regional scene, but I got him right where I want him now, and he does not belong in the UFC. So I should get him first.
I believe he may have gotten suspended from something as of late recently. I'm not sure.
He's suspended?
I think he was.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah.
That already? Oh, wow. That would have been a great debut fight for me, but just give me the next guy then.
Okay, for sure. Similar to obviously what John was saying, you caught the eye of a lot of people already on social media. I saw some people online saying you're a heavyweight Colby Covington. What do you make of that, and do you agree with that assessment?
Did Colby ever get the belt? I mean, I don't compare myself to those type of guys. I mean, Chael, he didn't get the belt either, so I'm here to really fight, I'm not just here to talk, so that's my mentality on it.
Josh, Is it possible for you to cut down to light heavyweight?
I mean, it's possible for me to go middleweight, but I mean, back in the day, they didn't have weight classes. So I'm here to beat people with skill and cardio and all the things that can't be seen, you know, strategy. You know, everybody wants to be a weight bully. That's not how I roll. So, I mean, just show up. I'm ready to take on, I mean, if there's weight bullies at middleweight, if they want to fight me at heavyweight, let's go. You know, I want to get my fight back or my match back from Bo Nickel. He beat me at 197. I know he's a middleweight. Have him come up. You know, so that's how I look at it.
Josh, right here. So we talked before the fight about your post-fight speeches and how you consistently like to deliver something crazy on the mic after your fights every time. Well, now you have that platform that you wanted to be able to reach more people, reach more voices. How does it feel to now finally have this platform?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, I don't think about it too much. I want to be UFC champion. You know, that's why I'm in this sport, and I'm here to do that and break as many heavyweights along the way.
So is it weird being a Jackson Wink heavyweight and hearing DC critique your wrestling right next to you in from the cage?
He just sounds like a hater. I mean, I don't know what's that all about. And I know he coaches at Gilroy. I'm from Clovis, you know, and Clovis is always better than Gilroy, so maybe he's a little bit salty about that.
So we talked before this fight about Martin Budai a little bit, his cut from the UFC, and how you thought he was maybe a bit more boring, and you want to take out these boring heavyweights. Are those kind of the guys you feel like you're going to go after? You're going to try to rid the UFC of its boring heavyweights before you make your way to the title?
Exactly. I'm here to save the division. They need something. They need somebody, and I'm here to do it. You know, Martin Budai, I don't even think he speaks English. He doesn't look very appealing either, you know, so yeah, those guys need to get from the heavyweight division. Thank you, guys.
Congratulations. Obviously, it's all official. The dream is true in the UFC. What's the emotion like for you right now?
Pretty surreal, to be honest, mate. I feel like I'm gonna wake up and I'm having a dream. You know, it's one of them. But yeah, I'm gassed, mate. I feel pretty ill as well, to be honest. When I was sat in that chair waiting, I was like, I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. And he was like, you got the contract. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
You addressed it, you know, the weight issue. You said, look, it's never happened again, won't happen. I guess, can you just walk us through what did happen? It seemed like kind of a weird series of circumstances.
Yeah, there's no excuse for not making weight. Like, it's never happened before, and it'll never happen again. You know, I can say loads of things. You know, I've never travelled this far to fight before. Obviously, fighting like 12 hours in 2 flights to get here, making your whole water and all that. And I come into fight week heavier than I ever have been. And then when I was doing the weight cut, like maybe 2 hours in, I just got ill and stopped sweating. So like throwing up, my heart rate was through the roof. And then once, obviously, like your body gets like anxious, you just stop sweating. So then there were like a 5-hour gap where I didn't sweat. And obviously your head's going then, you're like, oh, I can't sweat, what am I gonna do? And then by the time we got where the weight were coming off again, I didn't have long enough to make it, and I literally did everything I could. We missed by water at like 2 pounds at first, and then I had an hour extra, and I sat in the sauna for an hour straight. Literally sat there sweating, chewing pieces of ice, and we missed by like less than half a pound. So it is what it is, but it'll never happen again.
How challenging was the last 36 hours or so, right? Because you don't necessarily know if that means that Danny is going to say, well, you just can't get in no matter what you do.
Yeah. I knew at that point I have got to put in a serious performance here. Like I've got to show him how good I am, and I need to be undeniable in my performance. And to be honest, I didn't feel like I had the best performance, but you know that don't matter. I got it, and now I can show how good I really am.
Yeah. Stylistically, a very unique opponent, right?
Yeah.
Kind of challenging to look good against. I mean, how difficult was the challenge? I'm sure you expected to be in a Ryan Hall protege. You're going to see that, but how difficult was that to deal with tonight?
Yeah, he just had an awkward style. Like I knew he was going to be awkward coming into it, but like I struggled to find his timing. And when I was trying to bait him out to go, and he didn't go, and then he went when I didn't think he was going to go, and he sort of the way he got into the clinch were weird. He didn't like have an entry. He sort of just like made the fight messy and ended up in a good position for him. But yeah, you know, I've come from a striking background, but I've been doing jiu-jitsu for like almost 10 years now, so I'm always ready for what's going to go down on the ground. And when he were attacking my legs, I knew all I had to do was, you know, just clear his feet, clear his knees, and get out there, and I'd be all right. So there was no point I was panicking in the fight.
Yeah, any close moments on those? I mean, obviously those leg locks can be just a fraction of an inch. Were there any close moments?
One of them felt a bit tight, but like not really. I never felt like I were in trouble until I just sat down out there, and I felt one of my knees feels a bit weird, to be honest. My right knee don't feel great right now, but you know, I never felt in trouble.
Nice. Like I said, kind of back and forth, but the finishing sequence, like, did you know right then, like, this is the moment to finish it? Did you realize you had him hurt right away?
Yeah, I hit him to the body, and I saw him quit in his face. You know, I saw him go, I don't want this anymore. He turned away a little bit, and then I knew I've just got to put it on him now.
Nice. Last thing for me, I mean, obviously, you're going to want to soak this in, enjoy it, get back home, I'm sure, but what's the plan? Now it's time for a UFC debut. Do you try to turn around quick? What's the idea for you?
I need to speak with my team about it, really. You know, it's Manchester top team. We're all in this together, and I need to speak with my coach and my other training partners and see what they think, and we'll get a plan together. So we'll see.
And I'm just down here. When you were cutting weight and feeling sick, when did you start to feel better? Was there ever a moment where you're like, fuck, if I keep getting worse, I might have to pull out of this fight if I feel much sicker?
I mean, like my coach said, if it wasn't this opportunity, that I wouldn't have fought. That's how it goes, you know what I mean? But when you've got this one opportunity now to show the world how good you are, I feel like I want to start singing an song. You've got to get through it. These things happen. It's fighting. You never come in at 100%. You always come in like 60%. There's always some little injury or something that goes wrong. I think I might have broke my toe as well on fight week, hitting pads like through like a stabbing teep. That's why it took me a while to get going with my right kick. I hurt my toe. Like when I got here, I did my first session, jammed my toe on the pads, and then I haven't been able to do anything for the rest of the week. So that's like another thing where you're not losing that extra bit of weight. But then you just get on with it. That's it. You get on with it.
Is there any part of you a little bit bitter that you were throwing up, but still not throwing up enough to actually get down to weight?
Yeah. You know, but there's always swings and roundabouts. It's fighting. It's not an easy thing. You just got to get through these things. This is where your mental toughness comes into it.
I'm sure, Lixon, as you said, you were sitting there. You're not sure if the weight thing's going to screw you out of the contract. To get the contract, in a little sense, you were going to be delighted, whatever. But to get it with this circumstance and still pull off the performance you did to get the contract, is a part of you almost feeling a bit like, man, I got away with this one, and that means I've got to make the next one count, and I'm going to come back at this even more passionate than I perhaps was going to?
Yeah, I mean, I would have done anyway, no matter what. So it don't make a difference to me. But yeah, I understand your point. Yeah, definitely, I've got to go upper level again, which I don't think I'll have trouble doing.
Congratulations, mate.
Louis over here, to your left. Congrats on the win. Obviously, you mentioned your opponent's style and approach to the fight tonight. You showed a lot of patience inside there before getting him out of there late in the fight. So I know a lot of guys envision wanting to have that, first round knockout, first round submission. But do you think a performance like this, where you show the patience to deal with a style like his tonight, kind of potentially even shows more to the matchmakers in situations like this?
What's the question again? Sorry.
Like, do you think you showing your patience inside the cage before doing what you did kind of shows even more to the matchmakers?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I haven't actually thought about it like that. I was just like, I didn't get him out there in the first, but it don't always go that way. A lot of the time it don't go that way, but you know, you're on this stage and you want to get the sickest knockout anyone's ever had on Dana White's Contender series, but we got him out of there, so that's what fighting is. You're working out his timing, where can I get him, where's he open, what don't he like that I hit him with, and I got there in the third.
For sure. Obviously, Manchester top team. Lerone Murphy was on the pre-fight build-up video, and obviously we just saw what he did to Aaron Pico in Chicago. So what are the vibes like right now in Manchester top team?
Oh, it's going off, mate. You know, this is only the start as well. This is only the start. Lerone's going to be champion. I have no doubt Lerone will be champion. I have no doubt Atiba Gauthier is going to be champion. I believe I'm going to be champion. So I think there's a big wave coming out of Manchester.
Obviously, Atiba was here tonight, and I saw you guys two embrace when you were walking out of the cage. What words were exchanged there?
Just well done and a hug, bro. But like a couple of years ago, me and Atiba were living in a shed in the back of the gym. Because I'm not from Manchester, I'm from Leeds, so it's like a bit of a commute to get over there. Obviously, Atiba's from Cameroon, and we had there's just like a porter cabin. I don't know what you'd call that in America, like like an office you'd have on a building site. What? Container. With like 8 guys living in there in bunk beds, and 2 of us are in the UFC now, and there's Dan Holt, who's with me, who's come out with me this week. Dan's had to put up with a lot with me this week. I believe he'll be on Contender series next season. So it's all paid off. You know, we've been in the trenches together, and now we're coming up together.
Congratulations, man. That's great to hear.
So when you guys are like arguing over space and who gets what, do you just have to give it to Atiba, or how does that work?
Oh yeah. Like it was pretty even before Atiba got there. You know, we had it was like a community, and I'll do that, and come on, mate, clean up after yourself. And then Atiba turns up, and it's like, well, I'll clean up after you, Atiba. Yeah, don't worry, you do what you want, mate. You do what you want. I'll clean up after you.
I feel like the Contender Series is a great learning experience for fighters when they're getting to really see the UFC and how it operates. Do you feel like the whole thing that you had to go with the weight cut and maybe the lack of access to resources over at the Palace Station maybe caused a little something? And those some of the things that you're going to maybe learn going forward, that the weight cut won't be such an issue this time around?
Yeah, every fight's a learning process. You know, first time in the States ever for me, so everything's different. The food's different. Yep. You know, I don't even know what to eat. I know the meat's a bit dodgy in the supermarkets out here, so I didn't really know what to do. Yeah, I've heard. You know what I mean? We're a lot of farms in England. I've not seen many farms out here. But yeah, you know, it's all a learning experience, so I'll just take it with me and go forward.
Yeah. And then you mentioned that as the fight was going on, you really sort of found your strike and you found yourself in the third round. At what point did you feel like you were back into the fight and that you were feeling like you normally would feel? Because it definitely, you could see where you kind of got into the flow in that third round.
Yeah, just when I just let my body take over and stop thinking about making everything perfect. You know, like I said earlier at the start, you want everything to be so precise and bang on, and things come out a bit forced, but then I'll just let my training take over and my instincts, and then it would game over then.
Yeah. How does an Englishman celebrate his debut signing with the UFC in Vegas?
I'm definitely going for a pint with my dad. That is definitely how we're going to celebrate, yeah.
That's
nice
incredible.
Pint.
Congrats on that.
Right here. So I saw that you were a DJ and a producer for house music. How did you get into that?
Yeah,
And
so
what's that about? 'Cause I was pretty surprised.
yeah, so there was a small time where, like, between me just turning pro and moving to Manchester, where I'd sort of didn't know if I wanted to be a fighter, because it had all I'd ever done since I was like 5 years old. I was sort of like, am I just doing this because this is all I've ever done, or is this what I want? And I'm like, well, I like raves and house music, and so I'll have a go at that. So for a bit, I were like DJing on the local circuit and making dance music. And after a while, like this is not the same. This is not as good. Like, so then my old man got a call off Princey saying, "What's Louis doing? Why is he not training?" He's like, "Oh, he's going to be a DJ now. He didn't want to be a fighter anymore." And he was like, "What? What do you mean? Send him to Manchester?" And then now we're here. So yeah, I'm not DJing anymore. But yeah.
Well, if you want to start again, you wouldn't be the first fighter to try their hand in
No,
music.
no.
So you said it post-fight, but this has been a lifelong journey for you. I mean, from Muay Thai to IMMAFs to Aries to now here. I mean, looking back on everything, this is a week of firsts as well. You're the first UFC fighter from Leeds. This is your first time fighting in the U.S. does it all make that journey worth it? Everything you've went through, is it all worth it now looking back, having all these milestones that you got on your way to getting to the UFC?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But like, you got to enjoy the journey. The journey's the good bit. Obviously, signing your name on a piece of paper that's got Dana White's name on it is great, but it's the whole bit in between that's the good bit. You got to enjoy the journey because that's all we've got really. You know, the moments make it great, but the journey's the bit you've got to enjoy the most.
Jose up next.
I'm just here.
Oh. Is that Ramiro? Ramiro first? I thought you said, yeah, Ramiro first and then Jose. Yes. And then Ken. Ramiro, obviously a big, huge moment in your career to make it. I mean, just talk about first the emotion of how you feel getting a UFC contract.
Right now, I'm feeling calm, happy, to be honest. I'm just not super excited, you know. I'm just happy to be here. It's my dream come true. I'm just not too emotional, you know.
Are you surprised? I mean, I would think, you know, knowing that that's your dream, I mean, it felt like you were a little bit emotional earlier. Has it just kind of set in?
I know that I will be here, you know, but I'm just not a super emotional person. I'm just happy, you know. I'm feeling it inside of me.
Pretty spectacular performance that you had, but then you got to sit around for a long time and wait for the rest of the night unfold. How challenging was that to try to be patient and have to sit through everybody else's fights?
I mean, it wasn't hard to be patient. I mean, I was talking to my coaches, we're watching the fight to see how we can fix some technical aspects. And I mean, I was just feeling the emotions, the situation. And no, it wasn't hard, to be honest, to wait for the contract.
You felt pretty confident that you were going to get the deal after that performance?
Yeah, in a certain way, yeah, I was confident. I mean, I finished people. I think that's what the organization wants, you know, to finish your opponents, and that's what I do the best, you know.
Absolutely. Your opponent was durable, very, very tough. Were you surprised that, I mean, he just kind of wouldn't go away as much as you were hurting him?
Yeah, I was surprised. He received a lot of damage. And when I put him down the first time, I thought that it was over, but he was trying to fight. I mean, everyone here wants to get that contract, you know, so I understand the passion that he had in that moment, you know, and I mean, I was surprised.
After your performance, you gave a lot of love to the PI in Mexico. Can you talk about just what that's meant to your career and what the PI means? Because I think for a lot of people, they maybe only see the PI here and don't understand the difference of the ones around the world. So can you just talk about the PI?
Yeah, I mean, it's a PI in Mexico. I think it has like 2 years open to the fighters, you know. There's a lot of talents over there, a lot of fighters that are ready, just waiting for the opportunity. I got mine today, so you're going to hear about more fighters coming from there and about what they taught me. I mean, it was the science sport that they have over there. I mean, I learned a lot being there, the mental work that they have. I mean, it's great. A lot of experience, like I said, a lot of fighters, former champions, you know. So I mean, I just was absorbing all the experience that they has, and I mean, I so grateful with them, and I want go again to Mexico City and just celebrate with them. I mean, I won today, but I mean, this is accomplished from all the persons, the people that are there. You know, I mean, all the coaches, all the people that helped me with injuries. I mean, just want to give them back this result. You know.
Absolutely, well stated. Well, last thing for me, you're in the UFC now. Give us the plan next. I mean, are you hoping to book a fight quick? Is it let's take a little time, let's learn some things? Like, how would you like to see your UFC debut unfold?
I mean, I'm not like I said, I prefer to take my time to see where I'm stand up right now and talk to my coaches. I mean, they want the best for me, you know. So I want to hear them to see what's the next, you know. So I'm not rushing it, and yeah, that's it.
Ramiro right here. So you came in almost off a 2-year layoff coming into this fight. You had to eat some hard shots early. Did that kind of wake you up and get you back in your groove? Because I feel like normally you kind of have to eat a couple punches before you really start to get into your groove.
Yeah, probably that's true. I mean, I wasn't thinking on that, but now that you say it, I think that they wake me up.
So he ate a couple really powerful head kicks that you threw when he was already stunned. Did it surprise you that he was still standing up after eating those head kicks?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was surprised that he ate all the shots, but I mean, he has heart, you know, and he wants the contract too. So, I mean, I expect a hard fight every time. So, I was surprised, but I wasn't. I mean, I saw that, you know, in my visualization. So, yeah.
At the face-offs at weigh-ins, he kind of took out his phone and took that little selfie with you, and then he posted it. What were you thinking in that moment? I don't think that's ever happened to you before. So, what was going through your head there?
No, I think it's a weird situation. I mean, for me, and I think for all fighters, you know. I mean, he was a nice guy. I mean, just it's not the right moment to be super friendly, you know. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not disrespecting everyone. And if he wants a selfie, I'll give him, you know, just with respect. I'm not his friend in that moment, you know, so just take the selfie and that's it.
So obviously the UFC has been making a big push towards Mexico and Mexican fighters. Noche UFC coming up. I know you said you want to take your time, so maybe you won't be on that next card. But is it just exciting thinking about the fact that you could end up on cards with other top Mexican fighters in the future?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm excited to share these fights with other Mexican fighters that I see on TV, you know. I mean, I know them. They are my friends. But to share a event with them, I mean, it was spectacular, you know. And like I said, and I'm promoting this, is my next week here in the Contenders. My brother is fighting Christian Perez, so I want to be here to support him. And he's a showman. It's the next star here in the UFC. So I want to be with him, you know, in an important event, no? Situation for him. So we're gonna be fighters. We're gonna be UFC fighters. Me and him. So I'm just waiting for him, you know.
Well, I guess we'll see you again next week, Ramiro.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ramiro, felicidades con el triunfo. Hablaste un poquito sobre la cosa, pero 2 años, eso es bastante tiempo de estar inactivo. Aparte del peso, prepararte mentalmente, ¿qué tuviste que superar?
About the 2-year hiatus, just talk to us about just all this entire time. Besides the weight cut, you haven't done it for a while. What else did you have to overcome?
I mean, injuries for sure. Mental work to dealing with my own thoughts, you know, of what's going to happen to me in these couple of years when I'm in the limbo. I don't know where I'm going, you know. But this opportunity come when they recruit me in the UFC PI. So now I have a path to follow, you know. So I continue. Now I see a light, you know. So I follow the light. But I mean, it was hard to be off 2 years, almost 2 years. I mean, and I just know that I gained a lot of experience, maturely, mentally, and preparing myself for this moment. So, yeah, that's what I was doing in this couple 2 years, being out of the fights.
Muy bien, muy bien. Ah, Dana había hablado de qué emocionado estaba de tener este PI en la Ciudad de México. O sea que de esa luz que tú hablas, posiblemente tú eres la que la prendió. Y qué emocionante, qué lindo se siente que pueda ser el primer capítulo, por decir, de los peleadores que vienen del PI y que tú traes esa bandera y que te van a seguir y ya abriste la puerta para ellos y le dijiste a todo el mundo, aquí estamos y vienen bastantes detrás de mí.
Dana's talked about his excitement with the opening of the PI in Mexico, and he talked about this new light at the end of the towards the end that you could see, and this light, you might have been the one to turn that on. Well, how does it feel to be the one that comes in and clears a path and perhaps starts a whole movement of new talent that may be inspired by you and coming out of the PI in Mexico?
Yeah, actually, they've two guys fought last season from the UFC PI Mexico to Argentina. Julieta Martinez and Kevin, I think Kevin, yeah. So, I mean, they opened the path. I mean, I just followed the path, But I think I'm the first Mexican fighting. So, yeah, I opened the path for the Mexican people. I don't know if, but yeah, next week is my brother, and I mean, we opened the doors for them. But what I want to tell is that a lot of fighters are ready to perform here in the big stage, Just they're waiting for the opportunity, and they're gonna see them. You're gonna see them soon.
Muy bien, y finalmente para mí, la finalización. Tuviste un oponente bien fuerte, con buena experiencia, que claramente no quería que lo finalizaras. El referí le dio toda la oportunidad para que no dijera, pararon la pelea muy temprano, no me dio oportunidad. ¿Cómo fue en esos momentos que pudiste buscar la paciencia y como que calmarte al mismo tiempo para decir, ok, aquí lo tengo, ya casi lo mato, pero si me aloco demasiado, puede que él voltee las cosas y me ponga en peligro?
About the finish, you showed patience. You had all the opportunity to work through it, and you don't. The ref did not give a chance for people to say, hey, maybe this was an early stoppage. He just gave them all the chances to stay in the fight. But how was it to manage your patience about the fact that you don't want to go too heavy on them because something could happen and perhaps it would put me in danger?
Yeah, sure. I think this is what I work on these 2 years off. This kind of situations that almost every fighter has. And just to be patient. I mean, I work that. I mean, sometimes I just rush in my fights. So I try to be patient in this one, And I learned. I mean, you can see in the fight that I was a little bit more patient. So all the new things that I'm seeing right now in my fight, that comes from my 2 years off, I was working my mentally, my patience, and yeah, I show them. I show you this how I am now.
Muy bien, y lo enseñaste en el mejor momento. Bienvenido, felicidades y suerte a tu hermano la próxima semana.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Congratulations on securing your UFC contract. I guess you're still maybe processing it a little bit. What's the emotion like for you right now?
The emotion is it's slowly wearing off. The high is still there, but I think it'll wear off in a few hours, and then I'll have to go get another one at UFC Perth.
How crazy is that, right? I mean, you made the call, and then for Dana to even say, like, hey, not only is it good, but, like, we're making an exception. Our matchmakers are probably going to hate me, but we're going to do this because we want you on this card so bad.
Yeah, I really wanted to make my UFC debut on home soil in Australia. I've got friends in Sydney, family all over Australia, and I know that they're gonna turn up for this one.
I love it. Obviously, an impressive performance tonight. Overall, I can't imagine you take too much exception to it, but how do you feel about the performance in there tonight?
Yeah, I watched the replay. Things got a little bit wild at the end, but it's all I could hear was Eugene saying, "Finish him, finish him." So I just saw red and went for the finish.
How much did it change? A change of opponent, that sort of thing. Does it switch up your approach? Does it switch up your thoughts? I mean, how much of an adjustment was it for you?
It was a little bit of an adjustment, like different builds, different styles as well. But I mean, I've been doing this. I've been training for 12, 13 years. Been doing jiu-jitsu a very long time, grappling a very long time, and if it's a style change, it doesn't really matter because I feel like I can hang anywhere.
Was it tough to stay, I don't know, focused, driven, exciting? I mean, you get right to the cusp. It doesn't happen. Is it hard to start again from there and be like, all right, let's get back to it?
Yeah, it's just a mindset thing, really. Like, you can go one of two ways. You can just throw all the toys out of the pram, or you can just jump back in and keep going. And I've seen the guys who have been on Contenders before and took a little bit of inspiration from them, like the guys that lose and then they go on a tear and the UFC signs them, or they come back to Contender Series and they win their fight and they get signed. So it was like I just had to look at the history and the statistics and just play off that.
That's awesome. And did you feel like you had to make any wholesale adjustments, or is it like just keep on the path?
Just stay on the path. I mean, my coaches are very smart men, so I just listen to them, and they tell me what to do, and I just do it 110%.
Nice. Well, last thing for me, it seems like you manifested this opportunity in Perth. How do you see that one playing out?
Oh, in my perfect world, I have a 3-round war, blood everywhere, cuts, and I'm standing there with the referee. And he calls it, and it's a split decision. I get my hand raised. It's the best feeling ever. Just the anticipation of winning is just like, that's what I live for.
Congratulations. Seems like you have a similar mentality to Dan Hooker in these war-type fights. Obviously, he spoke highly about you going into this fight. He said you're the most well-rounded fighter out of City Kickboxing. So what was it like to hear that from your teammate and someone who's been there at the high stage?
That means a lot coming from a teammate. We spend a lot of time on the mats together, not just me and Dan, but like all the other boys who are in the UFC and all the boys who are coming up who are going to be in the UFC. And we don't exactly, we don't pat each other on the back every day, and we don't give each other the best compliments. We call each other assholes and dicks and cunts and stuff, but that's about as far as a compliment goes in the gyms. But to hear it from him, it means a lot when someone says a compliment to you.
What do you make of the league of fights he's got going on out there?
The 1-minute scraps? Yeah. There's some bad women in there. You don't want to mess with them. That's a dangerous room when you walk into there.
For sure. Obviously, last time we saw in Contender was against Torres Finney. He's obviously now in the UFC. So looking back at that, obviously you're now in the UFC. Is that one you'd like to get back in the future? Yeah,
I think that would be a good fight to have. All the losses I've had, I would love to have a rematch against everyone that I've lost to. Unfortunately, I can only call for certain fights, and then it's up to the matchmakers. But Torres did actually send me a message earlier this morning, wishing me good luck. He's a top dude, and I appreciate him sending well wishes and wishing me all the best for the fight.
Oh, that's dope to hear, man. Obviously, we've been seeing the talent explode out of the Australia-New Zealand region these past couple of years. So, what about you is going to stand out amongst all these talented fighters that are coming out? Obviously, you just mentioned that warlike mentality. I know a lot of fans at home like that, but what else will stand out about you compared to these other fighters coming out of the region?
It's just work ethic and grit and grind. Like, this is this is a sport where like talent can only get you so far. Like there's so many talented fighters that are in New Zealand and in Australia, and you see them fight, they fucking kill it for like the first 6, 7 fights of their career, and then they get a little bit of a test, and maybe they've taken their foot off the pedal, or maybe they've just, those guys that they fought just weren't the caliber, and then they get tested and they kind of fold. And I just think if you're gonna stand out in the region, you got to have some grit. Like you got to be fucking tough.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cam right here. So you talked about before how training pulled you away from a life of partying and drinking at 18 years old. When did things kind of switch in your mind and it was like, you know, maybe I can be a UFC fighter, maybe I can do this, you know?
Yeah, when I was about, I think it was like 20, 21 years old, I started training with a guy who was in the UFC, Richie Walsh, and his mate Brendan O'Reilly. They were on the Tough Smashers. It was Canada versus Australia. I think they were coached by Carl Noak. And I was going in and training with them in the gym. Like they weren't in my gym, but I was going over to their gym like 2 or 3 times a week and training with them. And you just hang around it more and more. And like you know, a rising tide floats all boats. And I was just getting better and better. And they were taking me down all the time. And then eventually they stopped taking me down so much. I started hitting them a little bit more. They were hitting me a little bit less. And I go, fuck, maybe I can do this. And then, you know, they were saying stuff to me like, yeah, you should give it a shot. And I was like, fuck, why not?
So this is only your second KO win since 2018. Did you want to use your striking more in this fight and kind of make a statement? Because your striking did look very clean tonight.
Yeah, definitely wanted to use my striking a lot more. I did shoot that takedown, but that takedown didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. Like I thought it was going to end up in a completely different situation. But when you come on Contender Series, it was I took note from what Dana said last week, and you come on here to fight, and you got to come on here to finish, and that's how you're going to get his attention. That's how you're going to get a contract, is you're going to knock the fuck out of people.
So like you said before, the matchmakers will only listen to whatever they want to and do whatever they want to. But, I mean, hey, you wanted to be on UFC Perth, you're on UFC Perth. Is there a specific name you want for Perth, or are you just taking whoever they throw at you?
Man, just put a bunch of names in a hat, give it a little squiggle, pull a name out, and we'll just go with that.
Would you want to fight another Australian or no?
Nah, the Australians got to defend the home soil against the invaders.
Thank you.
And actually, because I've worked with Dean before, I've heard him say that before.
Maybe when you said Saudi corner.
Yeah, how's it going, bro?
E ele falou que já várias vezes o Jim Thomas falou que o Murilo é o lutador favorito dele.
Go Birds.
Let's say incredible fight, incredible performance tonight. Got the UFC contract. I guess first let's just talk about getting the UFC deal. What's the emotions like with that?
Tremenda performance, tremenda luta. E agora o contrato está na mão. Vamos primeiro falar de contrato. Ganhar o contrato do UFC, como é que é?
Cara, a ficha tá caindo ainda, não entendi muito bem, mas agora eu sou atleta do UFC. estou muito grato a Deus por tudo que eu tenho vivido e eu acredito que é consequência de muitos anos de trabalho e eu estou sendo recompensado e é só o início. Vocês vão ver muito mais daqui em diante.
It's just settling and just dawning on me that this happened, that I'm actually, a UFC fighter. I think it's just a reward for a lot of hard work, and guys give me the opportunity, and I'm very grateful for it. And I'll tell you, you'll see much more. There's a lot more coming from where they came.
Well, let's talk about now the fight, because it was a hell of a fight. Very, very entertaining. Was it what you expected, and what did you think about the fight itself?
Da luta, tremenda luta, empolgante. Foi aquilo que você esperava?
Cara, não foi o que eu esperava no sentido de eu acreditava que a gente ia se matar no primeiro round. E a gente se matou durante 3 rounds. Ninguém quis morrer, vamos dizer assim. Ele era um cara muito duro. Eu acreditava que ele seria, mas eu não esperava que ele ia aguentar tanto. Foram mais de 100 golpes duros, 100% da força. E a gente foi até o 3º round e eu acho que o espetáculo ficou ainda melhor, porque mostrou que eram 2 atletas muito capacitados. Ambos mereciam a vitória e ambos poderiam ganhar. Até o último round tinha perigo de eu ser nocauteado por ele e ele ser nocauteado por mim. Então acho que abrilhantou ainda mais a nossa performance. E a gente prometeu a vocês que seria a luta da noite e talvez a luta desse ano. E eu acredito que a gente está podendo brigar aí.
It wasn't what I expected, because I really thought we were going to kill each other in the first round, but no one wanted to die, so to speak. So we just basically wrote it out for 3 rounds. I think it just made the spectacle and the show even better, because we're talking about 2 guys that basically. And by the way, I had over 100-something significant strikes, and I was like, those were hard. I gave it 100% in every single one of them. I went all out, and I delivered on it. But I think it just only made the spectacle and the fight itself even better, because you're talking about 2 athletes that were very capable of being here and deserving. And I think also it's something we promised. We said we're going to give you a fight in the night, and possibly we're in the running for the fight of the year in the season. Like you could be looking at this fight as one of the best of the year.
It was an absolutely incredible fight, but were you nervous at all that it wasn't enough, right? Because sometimes, Dana, they want the big knockout, the big submission, maybe the war is not enough. So were you nervous at all? They're like, oh, I'm not going to get a deal.
Foi uma tremenda do mundo, do show. Você ficou preocupado só pelo fato de que, às vezes, o Dana, o público, não, tem que ter um knockout, tem que ter uma finalização, tem que acabar com a luta. Você achou que, pelo fato disso não ter acontecido, isso tinha prejudicado você em algum jeito?
Sinceramente, não acho que isso prejudique, porque o nocaute ou a finalização é consequência de uma busca de luta. E o tempo inteiro eu vou buscar a luta. E o tempo inteiro eu buscando a luta, independente se vai para decisão ou finalização, o público vai gostar e, consequentemente, o público gostando, Dana White vai adorar também. Então, a finalização ou finalizar ou nocautear não interferia, para mim, pelo menos, não era uma pressão. Eu disse a mim mesmo, eu vou entregar tudo. O que acontecer, aconteceu. Se eu for contratado ou não, independe. Eu vou entregar tudo.
I don't think so. I think that the knockout or the finish is a consequence of the work that you do. If you fight like that, you're looking for a fight is the most thing. I was like, I'm going to look to fight the entire way. It's not frustrating. It comes as a consequence of your work. You work for it and it happens. I just said, whatever happens, especially because there are many fights like that they go all out and the crowd loves it. So it's not about it. It's just the consequence of your work. I said, whatever happens here, I'm laying it all out on the line. I'm not leaving anything that I'm thinking. I'm going to deliver it all, and I'm going to go for it. So I just gave it an all-out performance.
Amazing. Definitely did that. Last thing for me, Sean Shelby actually said that he felt perhaps more than anybody else in the rest of the entire season, you're the most ready to compete at the highest level in the UFC right now. Dana White said he agrees as well. So what do you think hearing that assessment, and do you agree that, yes, you're not just getting into the UFC, you're ready to contend at the highest level of the UFC?
A última pergunta dele foi em relação ao que foi falado na transmissão sobre o que o Sean Shelby falou, que assim, de todos os atletas esse ano, ele acha que você é o cara mais pronto para estar no UFC. E depois o Dana falou que concorda. Então, escutar isso, o que isso diz para você e o que isso fala sobre o teu futuro que você tem no UFC?
Eu fico muito lisonjeado, grato. E assim, se eles estão dizendo, eu acredito. Eu confesso a vocês que eu não sou um cara que fica assistindo muitas lutas. Eu gosto mais de treinar e estudar, enfim, a Bíblia e outras coisas que eu estudo, mas eu não assisto muitas lutas, então eu não sei nem quem são muito os caras da minha categoria. Então, se eles estão dizendo, eles assistem muito mais do que eu acredito neles. E se for possível, já que eles estão dizendo isso e quiserem me botar à prova, me coloquem no UFC Rio, que eu estou pronto. Vou estar pronto, né?
I'm flattered and grateful. And if they are saying it, I'm going to believe it. Because, you know, I'll tell you guys, I'm not one to watch a lot of the fights. I love training. I like to study fights and also the things, you know, I read the Bible. I have other things and other interests. So I don't even know many of the people that could be on my path in the division. But they watch a lot of fights. They've seen a thing or two. So if they're saying that, yeah, I truly believe it, and I do appreciate it, and I'm honored. But if they really want to put that to the test, why not put me in Rio? That's right there. So just give me a fight in Rio de Janeiro.
So, Jose, I saw you walk into the back, and at that point, Dana was done talking already. You had already been signed, but you didn't even know it. How exactly did you find out that you were signed to the UFC, and what was that moment like for you?
Você saiu, você deu a volta, foi para o médico e voltou, e no momento quando você voltou, você já estava dentro do UFC. Como é que foi? Em que hora que você realmente descobriu? Fala pra gente qual foi o momento que você falou assim, tá dentro.
Então, cara, foi muito engraçado isso. Eu saí da entrevista, quando eu já estava chegando lá, o cara, não, tem que ir direto, porque já está dentro. Eu estou dentro? Como assim? Aí eu olhei para trás, o meu mestre, os meus dois mestres, o Murilo e o Vitor, começaram a vibrar assim, olhar para minha cara e dizer, você está dentro, você está dentro. E eu saí tipo, caraca, eu estou dentro, eu olhei para a torcida vibrando, você está dentro. E eu não entendi nada. Até agora ainda a ficha não caiu ainda, irmão. Eu estou meio ainda assim, o que está acontecendo? Estou dando entrevista aqui, eu estou dentro do UFC. Então, mas foi mais ou menos ali, na hora que eu estava indo para a área do octógono, o meu mestre meio que olhou para mim e falou, aí eu acreditei.
It was actually funny because we just started walking, and I was gonna walk to the chairs, and I said, "You're in." What do you mean? No, I'm in. You know, you're into the UFC. And I looked to the left and towards the octagon, everybody was cheering. The crowd was cheering, saying, "Hey, you're in, you're in." I tell you what, I still not believe in it. It still hasn't dawned on me, but that's how I found out, and very happy to be in the UFC.
So, Jose, you served in the Brazilian army as a cavalry soldier. I wanted to ask you just what was that experience like? I didn't really know much about that part of you, so just talk to me about that part of your life.
O pessoal não sabia disso. Você serviu na cavalaria do Exército Brasileiro, é isso? Então o pessoal não sabia disso. Poderia falar como é que foi essa experiência?
Eu servi na cavalaria, no 10º Esquadrão de Cavalaria Mecanizado, que fica em Recife, em 2016. Vou te falar, foi a melhor experiência de toda a minha vida. Eu recomendo que todo homem que tenha 18 anos de idade, se puder, sirva. Se você pretende fazer faculdade ou algo do tipo, tudo bem, vai estudar, mas caso contrário, sirva, porque foi uma experiência que me mudou como homem, como ser humano, e eu acredito que foi das fases da minha vida que me preparou, inclusive, para eu me tornar o que eu sou hoje, o homem que eu sou hoje. Eu lembro que eu era vamos dizer assim, muito mimado, e eu me tornei um homem a partir do Exército Brasileiro, e eu recomendo, o Exército muda, transforma cidadão.
I was in the 10th Battalion of the Cavalry, and up in Recife, in Brazil. And I'll tell you what, that's probably one of the best experience of my life, because I'll tell you what, I do recommend to every male that's 18 years old in Brazil, whenever you can, do service. Of course, if you actually go into college and you have other things, other obligations, go do your thing, go study. But if you can, I think I was very spoiled, and I became a man there. And I think a lot of those things prepared me for who I am now as a fighter and who I am today. So I do recommend it to everybody.
So you keep using the term, the consequences of my evolution, and the consequences. So you're a very religious man. You believe in God. You praise God constantly. Do you feel like the evolution comes with praising God, or do you feel like it comes more from your team and Murilo Bustamante at Brazil Top Team?
Sobre as consequências que você fala, consequências do trabalho, consequências de tudo, de você é um homem religioso, temente a Deus, e você já falou algumas vezes sobre isso, sobre o plano dele. Como é que é para você isso? Que essas consequências são realmente dessa fé que você tem, ou também você atribui isso ao trabalho que é colocado você, Murilo?
A Bíblia diz que tudo que eu fizer, eu faça para Deus, e eu sigo isso à risca. Então, tudo que eu me proponho a fazer, desde um treinamento, que é algo do meu trabalho, desde lavar louça, eu faço o meu melhor. E, consequentemente, por eu estar fazendo o meu melhor para Deus, eu vou receber a consequência disso. Se eu estou treinando, entregando o meu melhor, eu vou receber a consequência daquele treinamento. Deus me permite fazer o que eu amo e eu sou grato a Ele por isso. Mas se eu escolher fazer errado ou tudo mais, Ele não vai me livrar dessa consequência. Então, a evolução, minha evolução, se dá porque eu entrego o meu melhor todos os dias. E Deus tem me permitido fazer isso, tem me permitido ter saúde, ter pessoas ao meu redor que treinam tão bem quanto eu. Vocês vão conhecer os meus parceiros de equipe a partir de agora, porque se eu estou aqui hoje, é porque eu tenho um background absurdo de treinamento. O que eu faço ali dentro, faço por causa da minha equipe. Então, sim, a minha evolução se deve por conta dos meus treinadores e principalmente por conta dos meus parceiros de treino, que com certeza vão estar aqui dentro do UFC também. Logo, vocês vão conhecer outros nomes.
What I was always been taught is that whatever you do for God. And whatever I do, whether it's training or washing the dishes, I try to do my best. And by doing your best, you know that you have done what you could. And I understand that if the work, the reward comes from the effort that you put in, but God is not going to spare you of a consequences if you don't do your job well. So everything I've done, and with God in my mind, I've done with an open heart and with a lot of effort, trying to do my best. And now that you're seeing me more, you're going to see the effort that I put in training, the people that I train. You surround yourself with good people as well in training, and you're going to meet a lot of my partners. You're going to meet a lot of my training partners and my gym partners, because I'm here now is because of the hard work that they put out there. You're going to see how hard we work on and the consequences of our work as well. So you're going to have an opportunity to see how hard we have put in and how much we have been rewarded, and we will be rewarded for the work that we put out.
Thank you, Jose.
Thank you.
Just one from me. Heard you're a big Fluminense fan. They won at the same time while you won your contract here in the UFC. They got a big win in Copa Sudamericana. So how's it like? You know, it's twice the happiness today. What's that like, man?
Vou ter que falar. Você é um torcedor do Fluminense, aparentemente, corre a boca pequena, que o Fluminense ganhou na Copa Sul-Americana hoje, no mesmo dia que você ganhou o contrato. É uma dobradinha tricolor, digamos assim?
Então, eu sou tricolor sim, não sou tão fanático quanto alguns amigos meus, mas eu torço pro Náutico também, só que no Rio de Janeiro eu torço pro Fluminense, mas o meu time do coração mesmo é da minha raiz, que eu vim de Recife, Pernambuco, eu torço pro Náutico. Mas eu gosto muito do Fluminense e notícia boa saber que o Fluminense ganhou, não estava acompanhando, para vocês terem noção, eu não acompanho muito, mas eu sempre gosto de torcer, de me divertir assistindo o jogo do Fluminense. Então sim, sou tricolor. E eu tenho o Cauê também dentro do UFC, um grande irmão meu também, a gente tricolou.
Yes, I'm a Fluminense fan. Not as crazy as some other dudes that were actually wearing the jersey here tonight. I'm a Náutico fan from up north, that's I'm from, but not as crazy as them. But I'm very happy to know this. There's also a couple of other Fluminense fans in the sport and the UFC. Good, Cauê, a good friend of mine as well. So one more.
Thank you very much.